What's up, guys? Welcome back to the review space, and this is gonna be the review of Monday Night Raw episode last night, January 30th, 2012, the final Raw of the month of January. Alright, so let's actually, you know what, I'm just gonna talk about the big things that occurred, you know, the key notes, the key events that occurred. First up, let's talk about CM Punk, WWE Champion, against Daniel Bryan, World Champion. This is a champion versus champion match. We don't get this a lot, you know, very rare kind of match. I think the last time they had this was last year. It was, I believe, Mark Henry against John Cena, I think. I could be wrong, you know, if you know, somebody can correct me on that, but I think that was the last time they had it. Anyway, this was actually kind of an interesting dynamic. It was both of the, you know, the champions going up against each other, and there's a similarity between these two. Daniel Bryan, ROH guy, CM Punk, ROH guy. I think that the main difference is they try to point it out how, like, CM Punk is this straight edge, you know, he doesn't do drugs, doesn't do alcohol, but he's just the best wrestler in the world. But then you have Daniel Bryan, who's kind of more preachy, and he's a bit more, there's a bit more of a you know, a smug way about him. You know, it's like, I'm doing the right thing, and you should all follow me. You know, I'm a role model kind of thing, and the holier than thou. I'm a vegan, and I eat right, and, you know, that kind of attitude. So it was very interesting to see this match. It was actually a really good match. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, it felt like a wrestling match, you know, not your typical, you know, by the numbers kind of Raw match. It was very good. I enjoyed it. Very interesting. And the ending too was good because, oh snap, Y2J, Chris Jericho shows his true colors. He attacks Daniel Bryan, thus disqualifying him and giving Daniel Bryan the win. But then he actually targets, at the end, CM Punk. Oh, hits him with a code breaker in the center of the ring. Blow! And Chris Jericho looking like his old heel self, you know, his real heelish persona. And so, oh man, we're starting to see the wheels turn. We're starting to see, like, the foundations of WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber. Chris Jericho going after the WWE Championship. And it's going to be Chris Jericho, who used to call himself, I mean, didn't Chris Jericho call himself the best in the world? Like, I am the best in the world, you know, back in the day. And then CM Punk is doing his best wrestler in the world. So it's going to be very interesting to see an actual promo segment between these two later on. Alright, what else happened? Oh, we got an inductee into the Hall of Fame. This time it was a celebrity. And when they mentioned it was a celebrity addition to the celeb wing of the Hall of Fame, at first it was like, you know, you're thinking like guys like Drew Carey and, you know, that baseball player, I forget his name. He was like tombstone by Kane a few times. But I mean, it's like, you know, you kind of expect it to not be that special because it's just a celebrity. But actually, it's Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, former world champion, boxing champion, a legend in the boxing ring and the boxing business, and one of the greatest boxers of all time. Iron Mike is included in the WWE, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it's quite interesting. You know, very nice to see that they showed the footage. You know what I'm saying, like his WrestleMania 14 stuff with Austin and, you know, DX. And I actually didn't see the episode of Raw when he returned as a guest host. I didn't see that one, but, well, it is what it is. He's a legend, and I think that this gave them some level of publicity. You know, he is a celebrity. He's a legit, famous celeb, and people know Mike Tyson, the general sports fan, especially if you grew up in the 90s and the 80s. You know Mike Tyson, so I think that maybe the younger audience don't necessarily kind of really realize how big Mike Tyson was, you know what I mean? Because his boxing peak was like the 90s, the early, you know, the late 80s, early 90s kind of thing, like in terms of popularity. And then the 90s, it was just full of controversy and his fight against Evander Holyfield and stuff like that. So in terms of the boxing ring, in the boxing world, Mike Tyson, maybe not as relevant as he was, 10, 15 years ago. But he's still, he's doing his acting thing now and The Hangover and stuff like that. So, okay, and final one, the final big moment was really, the segment, John Laurinaitis and Triple H. Alright, so Triple H, it looked like Trips was about to fire Johnny Ace. You know what I'm saying? He was about to say, I wish you luck in your future endeavors. He was about to say that because that's like the typical WWE classic trademark line when somebody got fired, wish them luck in their future endeavors. He was about to say it, but he was cut off. He actually said, I wish you luck in your... And then he was about to say it, but then Undertaker's music hits. Dun, 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 dun. And then Undertaker, you know what I'm saying, he stands face to face Triple H in a business suit. Triple H doesn't look like he's going to wrestle. Like he's more of a general manager type of looking guy, a corporate looking guy with his suit on, looking professional. And here comes Undertaker in his full, his battle gear. He's got his his jacket, and he's got the hat. And it was kind of like a reverse of what happened last year in the feud before they had at WrestleMania. It was kind of like that build up where Triple H interrupted the return of the Undertaker, and so that kind of obviously that was like the start of that particular match at WrestleMania. And this time it was the opposite. This time it was Undertaker interrupting Triple H, but it was very interesting how it all ended. It looked like they didn't say anything to each other. Obviously, they were doing their non-verbal, physical, acting kind of thing where they just stood face to face and doing gestures and stuff like that. It was very physically, non-verbal. Undertaker looked at the WrestleMania sign overhead, and he was staring at it, and he was staring at Triple H, like, all right. You and I are destined again. You want to go again, WrestleMania 28. But then Triple H, he just kind of like solemnly looks at Undertaker and just kind of like, and he pats him on the shoulder, almost like yeah, buddy, you know what? Yeah, man, like, no, man, I hear you, but no. I think that's basically what it was. Triple H refusing Undertaker. Basically, he refused Undertaker's challenge. It was like Undertaker offered him another match kind of thing, and Triple H was like, no. It's like, no thanks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had a great match last year. It was a classic. I couldn't beat you, and now I'm walking away. And so Triple H, he walks away. Goes backstage, and Undertaker is left all alone in the ring, and he just kind of looks around like, so who is it going to be? And that's what I got. That's the message that I got. Who is it going to be? Who is Undertaker going to face at this year's WrestleMania? It doesn't look like it's is it going to be Triple H? To me, that segment was basically like Triple H going, answering all the questions, answering the what ifs, the speculation that it's going to be Trips versus Undertaker Part 2. It seemed like it wasn't. It seemed like they basically answered it right there. It's not going to be the case. So, I mean, it's not I don't know. It looks like it from everything that we saw last night. It looks like Triple H backed down and he refused the challenge. So it looks like Taker is going to be by his lonely at WrestleMania. Who is his opponent going to be? It's a mystery opponent, I guess. I mean, they could bring in just about anybody who could be, maybe a Brock Lesnar or something. I mean, who knows, man? So, that was pretty much like the eventful things that occurred last night. I'm not gonna, don't really want to get into the rest of the episode because, that's all that really stood out for me. it was all right as far as kind of like the fallout of Royal Rumble, and Royal Rumble sort of came in when they addressed Sheamus. Sheamus was able to cut a promo, and there was still a mystery behind it where Sheamus is like it's still not sure whether Sheamus is going to go after Daniel Bryan or CM Punk. So there's still a lot of questions, and man, WrestleMania 28, this build up, it's begun. It really has begun. Like right after Royal Rumble ends, that's when it really starts to, you start to see the wheels turning, and the road to WrestleMania is a lot more, the road to it is a lot more clear. It's a lot more, it's obvious that they're starting to build towards that for real now. Okay, so that's it for this, my recap review of last night's episode of Raw. Let me know what y'all thought. Let me know who you guys think is gonna be Undertaker's freaking opponent at WrestleMania 28. Is it gonna be Triple H, or is it gonna be somebody else? I mean, man, I'm thinking maybe somebody like Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a long shot, but yeah, you never know. Alright, so yeah, check out the rest of the channel. I'm sizzling, and until next time, subscribe, and ciao!